Says not yet, not yet, not yet. Nah.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
There's some people here that need to be taken away.
Nice.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. In lieu of that intro, if you recognize that, they're coming to take you away to the funny farm. And if you notice there's somebody missing tonight, well, you draw your own deductions. Mike might be in a straitjacket.
He's the only sane one of the group. I don't think that's happening.
That's true.
Got that right.
I was going through an old hard drive of mine, and I found a folder that said fun stuff. And I guess it's an old hard drive that I had pulled out of an old PC that I had, and I put in a case. And I just thought, I wonder what's on there, and had a whole bunch of silly stuff, and that song was on there. And I said, oh, God, I remember that's a flashback from my past. I remember that song. And I said, well, I got to use it in something. So I thought, I'll put it in a video at the expense of Poe. And it worked.
Well, that's a perfect one, too, because for whatever reason, it seems like that's one that radio stations used to like to play in October around Halloween time. So here we are, October 1st. So it's fitting.
Yeah.
And I might as well get right to it, unless you guys got anything else real quick. I'm just going to say tonight, you're here. I think our main topic is going to be FX3 fall. I'm calling it the fall of 2023 FX3 pinball tournament. The big show, 10 weeks of tournaments. In the video that I'm going to show you here in a little bit, I've got the whole schedule on it. I will also be putting that up in my community tab on the on my YouTube channel. But just to let you know, there's one every Sunday. They'll start and be running at the time this show starts. Sometime during Sunday, they will start, and I will also put out a video showing you the scoring and all that, and where we're at, who won the week before. So you'll always know what's in the if you show up at the show. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Bart. Go ahead, Bart.
On my screen over here, I just saw Mr. Livewire is playing FX3. He's already setting the bar, I'm guessing.
Right.
But so this is it. This is the start of the big tournament, round 2 for 2023, and 10 exciting weeks of pinball. Greg showed me the lineup. We talked about the lineup. We looked at the schedule of tables, and I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's a good mix. You'll be disappointed, Poe. There's no Tesla.
No.
But there's also no Fishtails or Funhouse. So that's you take the good with the bad.
If you notice that intro video talking about nutty stuff, the last segment of that video was a Tesla table. I did that on purpose. The video of a Tesla table. So.
Oh, Livewire said he was checking Derek's tournament. He wasn't getting on the new one.
Oh, so he'd rather check Derek's tournament than ours. That's okay.
Yeah. Derek was saying, hopefully we get Tesla out of the way early, but too late. Oh, snap, it's not in there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I think almost all of these tables, or I should say, I don't think any of these tables were in the last tournament, were they? At least most of them were not. So
no,
the last 10-week tournament, I think most of these are different.
I'm not going to say and lie to you and tell you I went to the trouble to check last year's tournament and make sure that didn't happen. But I know that I did intentionally try to look at ones I didn't remember being in last year's, but I didn't know how accurate I was.
Yeah.
And I did see that Hollywood Polo put he can't find the password for it until we get to the playoffs, which Bart and I will talk about in a little bit for those of you that haven't been involved. The password will always be G Parker lowercase, just like it's always been. Now, when we get to the playoffs, these 10 weeks are all regular season. Then you'll have the playoffs where you'll get a password.
Yeah. Polo said he couldn't find the password, so he didn't enter. G Parker wasn't the password, he said.
Well, I'll show the video here in a little bit, but I typed in G Parker right on the screen. Which when we watch the video, well, here, Bart, you tell them a little bit about how you're going to keep track of scores. Well, I look on my Switch and see if I can get in with G Parker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to, as far as keeping track of the scores, I hope this isn't, you guys can't hear this loading FX3, can you?
I can't.
Okay, because I was loading it up on my second monitor over here to see if I could get into the tournament. But yeah, we're going to do it like just like we did the one earlier, where every week the top scorer gets 4 points, second place gets 3, third place gets 2, and everybody who plays gets 1. So and then each week I will go on to Steam and check, because that way if you play, it doesn't matter where you played it. If you played on FX3, you can play in the Steam tournament and I can see the scores. We'll pull the scores off of there and I'll enter them into the spreadsheet. And then each week after this week, obviously, because we didn't play last week, but from then on, we can go over the scoring and see not only who won that week, but who's winning the tournament at the time. Yeah, they're saying no go on that. They're saying no go on that, Greg. Let me see.
Well, you know, I'm on my Switch, so
Week 1, Greg wins.
yeah,
Yeah.
That'll be no problem.
I typed in G Parker all lowercase and I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in. G
Yeah.
Parker all one word lowercase.
So good, I don't have to worry about doing that here, because for some reason, you know, on the Switch you have to search sometimes by name, although I don't understand why it's finding other tournaments that I know.
Yeah, I can see your score on here, Greg. That is an amazing score.
Oh, I know. I see what's wrong. Yeah, my score, yeah. I just played it to get it going. So if you think it's amazing. Okay, tournaments. Okay, now here I'm finding it. I'm having a little trouble navigating the Switch. I haven't had it on in a while.
Derek said he got in too.
Okay. Okay, well, I don't want to play again on the Switch, because that's our rule. You can play on the Switch. You can play on on Steam or whatever your choice is. But if you play on both, we're not going to count both scores. It's just too hard for Bart to be looking at both of them and deciding which score to use. You got your choice of playing on whatever platform that you can get in it on, but you only get one. Am I right, Bart? Is that what we decided? That is
yeah. If you play it on Steam and then play it on the Switch and then play it on Xbox and then play it on PlayStation, you don't get 4 points towards the playoffs. You'll only get the 1 point. And so yeah, but that's the plan.
Okay. So it looks like people are finding it. So okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's one less worry I got.
Yeah. No good gophers this week. Well, Greg has an intro video for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A matter of fact, I can show it anytime you want. If you want me to show it now, it's only 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Poe's going to help us out. Poe's going to help us out and make some of those starting videos for us throughout the season, but they'll probably be 15 or 20 minutes long, so I try to just...
Yeah, it'll be most of the show. Yes.
Yeah. While he's queuing that up, that gives everyone a time to click that thumbs up button, because I think it shows me up in the top corner we got 1. 11 people watching, 1 thumbs up. Oh wow! I don't
That's
normally do any of that YouTube stuff. Like, hey, click subscribe, but I see it on the screen, so it made me think of it.
Oh, you know who hit? I got to tell you who hit that thumbs up too. I can see who hit it. I don't know that he's in the chat, but that is one of our past winners who got greased out this last year by the Champagne Room. That happens to be Balls a Slapping. That's Balls a Slapping. So I can see that on this end. So, okay, let me get us started with the video. Week 1, FX3 Fall 2023. Okay, everybody, October 1st, 2023, and as promised, FX3 tournament time. And I'm not talking about just the little 1-week tournament. I'm talking about the big 10-week tournament. We will keep score of how you do throughout the tournament based on where you place each week. Also, everybody who participates gets a point just for participating. That's right. And then once the 10 weeks is over, we'll have a playoff to see who the pinball wizard is. We have done this a few times, and we decided to do it again due to popular demand. So here we go. Week 1, No Good Gophers. It's going to run for 5 days. They'll all run for 5 days and start each Sunday. They were private tournaments. Again, you look for G. Parker and is the host of the tournament, and the password is G. Parker, all lowercase. We're going to set that up here in just a second. 5-day private tournament. Rule is classic on this one. 3 balls, unlimited play. They're going to change each week. Get a little tougher, some will be a little easier, and we're going to have a little fun with this. So let's go ahead and create and play. Password again is GPARKER. Let's go ahead and create this tournament. Create and play. And let's play. Okay, if you want to see how I did get in the tournament, that's right, G. Parker, and the password is G. Parker to get in. 10-week tournament. Just to tell you a quick rundown of what we'll be playing: No Good Gophers, Black Rose, The Walking Dead, Dr. Dude, Skyrim, Family Guy, Medieval Madness, why couldn't I say that? Wild West Rampage, Earth Defense, and V12. That's our lineup for this tournament. Get to practicing, come back each Sunday and join us. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, and we'll get you back to the show. Have fun and participate. Good time. Take care. There you go.
Nice. Starting off with the Gophers. Might as well start off with a table that heckles you while you play. So that's always good.
I got Bart to laugh while we were behind the scenes. We can be behind the scenes and kind of see each other when we're showing those clips. And I was like, it says G. Parker. I got documentation. That can happen to anybody. Yeah. I was questioning my own judgment whether I was doing the right thing or not. But yeah. And the thing I didn't mention is all right, 10 weeks. Yeah, Bart, did you tell him, you're going to get scores, like I think it's like 4 points for first, 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 for showing up.
Right.
At the end of that 10 weeks, would take the scores up, and basically anybody that's got 10 points or more is going to go to the finals. So if you participate every week, you don't have to win. You're going to get to go to the finals, and then the finals get tough. And I drew a few of these things in to the thing information that you did not get. Week 1 is just classic. You already saw that. Week 2 is going to be survival. If you're not sure what survival is, I'm not going to try to explain it to you here. You basically play for a certain length of time, have to achieve a certain score, and then you can if you get to keep going. If not, the clock restarts once you do. But anyway, if you're not familiar with that, it suggests you go on FX3 and play a survival game. Practice up on that. Walking Dead's a classic. October 22nd, Dr. Dude's 5 balls, 5 attempts. Skyrim's classic. Family Guy on November 5th is going to be 10 balls, 1 attempt. Kind of throwing some mix up to it there. Medieval Madness classic. Wild West Rampage is you get all the ball saves, but you got 5 minutes to get the highest score you can get. The last 2 are classic, but what we'll do is, if you remember right, and Champagne Room did it live when he went up against Balls of Slapping, and that is, it was 1 ball, 1 attempt, and it was kind of comical to watch. And I'll tell you what, Balls of Slapping wrote me after he did his try. They both waited till the last minute. I think they were practicing, which I think is a jinx. I usually do my best game the first time I play one, and then can't top that ever again. But long story short, Balls of Slapping wrote me and says, "Man, I think I got it," and he did. He had a hell of a score. But I'll tell you what, it came down to the wire, and we saw that. I was watching that score turning over on Champagne Room, and all of a sudden he just went over it, and you could see him just kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
After he got it. So it's anybody. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even if you suck, like Derek does, come and play anyway.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't stop Derek.
Yeah, you can still win.
Yeah. Now
I'm sorry,
Greg,
Derek. You takes the
Greg, one thing we didn't talk about, and are all the weeks that we're going to do classic, are we going to do unlimited attempts, or are we going to limit people's attempts at some point?
Yeah, the only one that has a limited attempt is 10 ball, 1 attempt. And you know, I leave that up for debate. You know, this schedule can be modified at any time. I'll keep the tables the same, so that those of you that are looking at them can study it and practice for them. But I did notice that I didn't do that many times, did I? I didn't limit the attempts. So I may pick a couple in there and do that. What do you think, Bart? You think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a couple of those classics. We'll put a 5-game limit or something. Or,
okay.
So
what do you think, Poe? What's your thoughts? Sure.
Oh, I'm just looking forward to being on the bottom every week once again. I can't wait. It doesn't matter. It gets harder as you go. So hopefully I'll remember to play each week, even though we say it right here. I get home from work and it's a whole different world during work week. So.
And that's why I left for 5 days. I wanted plenty of time for Bart to be able to get him in the spreadsheet and everybody so we can put the placement out. It just seemed like a good thing. Sunday, and I want to let you know they're always going to be there Sunday before the show. I just don't know what time. I got a life too. So when I get home from the gym on Sunday, if I go early, it'll be up maybe 11 or 12. If I get home late, it may be 12 or 1. But you can pretty much count on it will have started before the show. The tournament will start. When I tape the video, I'll start it, and then I'll get it ready to present on the show. Plus, Bart scores in it. Yeah.
I do want to clarify, too. We said it before, and I think people who played it last year know. When Greg said everyone who plays gets 10 points or more, they're going to make the playoffs. That is, of course, excluding Greg and myself. We will not be eligible for the playoff because
Well, I think
It would
we've
be
even.
fun if we just played along, and then, but if we could screw it up. If we got into the playoffs and somehow managed to make it to the end, then we're screwed up because we bumped someone out. So
I think we even left our wives out of that.
yeah, our wives too, because there will be a little prize, and we don't want someone thinking, hey, we just gave it to our wife, So Poe and Mike are still eligible for it, but Greg and I will not be eligible for playoffs. So just to make that clear.
Yeah. And it's also forbidden for you to go over if any of these tables are featured on Digital Victory's channel. It's forbidden for you to go over and watch the video on it before you play.
Till after you play your attempts, then you can go watch it and see what
I'm just trying to put a plug in for Digital Victory because that is a good place to go if one of those tables is featured on his channel. Because I'll tell you what, he's made a big difference in the scoring that I've done on a lot of these tables. So a little plug in for Digital Victory, who, once again, I was late getting this information out. I did not get him a link to the show tonight. So if you're watching Digital Victory, I apologize for that. You can always text me, though, on Android. He's got my number.
Derek said he was already comparing checking our game list up against Digital Victory's videos. It does make a difference. Man, when you see a table that Digital Victory put up a video and you've played it, you're like, man, my best score is like 6 million. You watch Digital Victory and all of a sudden you're scoring 20, 30 million or more because you suddenly know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I got to ask Chaos. Chaos, are you going to get in this? I haven't seen you in any of our weekly tournaments. Come on, Rick. That's good time, man. Need to get you in the tournament.
Oh, thank you, Chaos.
What do you say?
He liked Poe's new video. Poe went live today. I didn't get to see it, Poe. Sorry.
That's all right.
I got the notification that you were live, and then I looked, and it said, when you're done, it says streamed 7 minutes ago or whatever. I'm like, hey, Poe's live. Oh shit!
It couldn't have worked out. It couldn't have worked out any better for me. It was the perfect time to watch a Poe show. I was sitting in the living room. I just finished a little afternoon snack, and I had to take a dump. And I had my phone in my hand, and I went in the bathroom. And while I'm sitting in there, I'm looking at my phone. I thought, what a great time to sit and watch a Poe live video. So I did it while I was sitting taking a dump. And great show.
Right.
I'm going to meet Poe one time. He's about 6 foot taller than I am. He's going to pound me into the ground.
I'm a happy guy. Mostly I'm a sleepy guy. Too tired for that.
Well, let's change gears a little bit. Bart and I've been taking this. Poe, tell us a little bit about Pittsburgh. I know you had kind of a wore-out weekend and work was a bitch and all this. You haven't been feeling good, but tell us a little bit about what you did at the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. That's a great little feature to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we went down there and we had a good time. We went in and bought a few things, and that's mostly what my son was looking forward to. So he got his handheld stuff, and he bought an original Game Boy down there, which he has like all the other Game Boys, but he didn't have the original, so he found one and bought that. And I bought a new Atari 2600 game off of 8-Bit Millie down there, and got a couple games off of John Riggs, the YouTuber, was there. I bought a couple games off of him, which was pretty cool. And those sitting here. And I bought California Games for the NES. Never owned that one before, but since Mike, Gaming Road Warrior, bought me the 2600 version there, I decided to buy the NES version just to have it in my collection. So we had a good time, and we played some arcades. They had a lot more pinball there than they did last year. A lot more arcade cabinets, too. But the pinball, they had a lot of stuff there. They were having a tournament this year that was covering both days. So they had the machines for the pinball tournament. They're kind of roped off. but then they had duplicates of those same machines for anybody else to play. So that was nice. So, you know, you could play the same ones they were using for the tournaments there. And, but there were so many people on them, and it was kind of at the point where I didn't feel like waiting in line for everything. So I mostly just played the arcade cabinets that I could get my hands on at the time. They did have a Fishtails there. I saw a kid playing it. Looked like he was pretty frustrated. So,
You want Brian to say that game sucks, kid.
but yeah, and then I met Retro Bliss Phil in person finally, and you know, met him almost 2 years ago, and in the stream where we all met in the chat, you know, back a few years ago. And so now I finally met him face to face, and really cool dude. Met him and his wife, and just really awesome dude. You know, we got to stand there and talk for a while, and really liked meeting him. So, and then I think actually he was going to stay for both days too, but I think he got to the point too where we kind of saw everything we wanted to see and played everything we wanted to play. I think he went ahead and headed back to Ohio yesterday whenever I was heading back home. So, but we'll go again. We'll head back again next year and buy everything we can buy again. I really didn't save back money like I normally do. Normally I would have saved back a little each month, but well, you guys know me. This year was one of those years where I was pre-ordering everything, especially for the iArcade. Every second there was a new announcement for the thing, so there was more money gone. You know?
Right.
That can happen. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, I have a video out. I just put it up, I don't know, a couple hours ago of our experience with the Gaming Expo. So added a little bit of background music to it of us walking around, you know. And they had some live bands there too, some local hair bands there. Sounded pretty good playing that.
Nice.
So yeah, we had a good time. But my boy is, yeah, he's kind of like that. He likes to get in places, buy what he wants, and get back out. He doesn't care for big crowds a lot. And he's kind of the way I am too with it now. It's like I'm looking at all these arcade cabinets, and last year it was more of I need to play this, I need to play that, and now it's kind of like, okay, there's 5 guys waiting to play that, and you know what? I already put that game on my arcade at home. I can play it down in my game room without a line of people. So it's, I don't need to play it as much right then and there like I did last year, you know. So it's a little bit different.
Nice.
Sounds like a good time. Somebody asked us, did it smell like the 80s there? I think that was a question I saw.
We smell like the 80s. It's kind of a timeless smell. I do have to say, once we got into the area with all the gaming consoles, there were a few smells that you might not have wanted to smell. Maybe a few showers were skipped, but you'll have that. People get excited about these things. We walked past a couple consoles where I thought at first maybe we were in a sub shop. Somebody was making Italian subs, but there were no Italian subs to be seen. Little oniony, little tang to the air. But, you know, you're used to that. It smells like gym class 1983 maybe or something. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah. I was wanting to be there with you in spirit, Ho. So yesterday I turned on my iArcade and fired up Dig Dug, and then I had Kelly play and Shelby stand behind her, and then I stood behind Shelby until I got tired of standing there. And
yeah, just wait and watch.
Then I left. And then I said, I'll just play it on my iArcade. Wait. Oops.
You got to put your quarter up there so they know you're next.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I did. Shelby just put it in her pocket and said, thanks, Pops. I didn't know you were that dumb. Do it again. I put $6 worth of quarters up there before I figured out what she was doing. I don't know.
Well, I didn't have a chance to tell you talk about going somewhere to play games. I didn't, even in the pre-show, we kind of got together late because I did a premiere, and I'm leaving tomorrow, and so I got to pack tonight. I got the Chiefs game after the show, and I got to pack. But the hotel that I got, I was looking at their amenities, and there's a game room.
Oh, nice.
The only thing that pisses me off is I'm going to have a talk with management about how can you have a game room without a pinball machine, but they do have what appears to be a Pac-Man machine.
Nice.
So maybe I'll get a little video action in down there, but I'm going on a little half pleasure, it was all adjusted because of health things. I got the eye thing going on, some other stuff I had, and we just finally asked my wife. I said, "What do we got planned this week?" And she goes, "Well, nothing." I said, "Okay, I'm leaving. We're leaving." So we decided to do that. Kind of half pleasure and half we're going to pick up a little surprise that maybe I'll be able to show you next week. Not really gaming related, but it's fun. So something I can do, show and tell.
Cool.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So what were you looking to get? What was your big score that you were able to actually score? Something you were looking for when you went to purchase, and you actually were able to get it. Anything special?
Well, I thought that I had Ghosts and Goblins for the NES in my collection. I could have swore I had that, And I do have the new. I got the Replicade cabinet, Ghosts and Goblins. Finally got delivered last Monday, so I wanted to have the NES cartridge there when I do the unboxing, just kind of like background or have it sitting there. And I looked around and I couldn't find that cartridge anywhere. So I thought, well, I'm going to this thing. There are going to be vendors there selling all kinds of stuff. Surely somebody has one. And when I looked around at first, I couldn't find anybody selling the thing. And then I found a guy selling one, but it had a big crack down the front of the cartridge. He said it works, but there's a crack there, I'm like, well, no, I don't want it, And looked around. Finally, I found somebody selling one that looked decent. So that's probably my big score, even though it's not a big deal. I mean, most people have, I think, a Ghosts and Goblins if they collect. But getting that homebrew game from 8-Bit Millie for the 2600, it's always cool to have an original 2600 game. So Dragon Chalice. I could have ordered this from him online when he first came out with it, but I knew he was going to be there this year, so I wanted to buy it off of him in person when I got there. So
that's always fun to. That's always fun to do. You like to be able to buy something and touch it, feel it, take it home with you instead of waiting for the mailman.
Yeah, and thank him in person, while I'm there, thank you. And he has a few other games on there. Plus, he has a thing there whenever you get something from him, you can join his club and actually download ROMs from his site and everything. So, and he does ColecoVision and Intellivision games as well. So, mostly ColecoVision. But it's just cool going down there and seeing them. Now, I did see some other things there. Of course, they have Jaguars for sale and stuff like that. It's always cool to see that. I mean, it's already 8-bit computers and stuff, but I don't take $500 with me down there. I'm not going to put that on the debit card. It's cool to see those systems down there, but I don't think I'm ever going to try to score big at one of those conventions and walk out of there with a Jaguar or a big old computer under my arm, walking out of the place. But if the price was right. Now, a lot of times people say, well, you go to these conventions on the last day and vendors are looking to get rid of this stuff the last hour of the last night. We never go on the last day, and I don't know, sometimes I kind of call BS on that anyway, because a lot of these vendors have actual brick and mortar stores somewhere or an eBay store. I don't think they're necessarily looking to dump all their inventory on the last night. If they don't sell it there, then they'll just put it back in their stock, and sell it someplace else. So.
Well, my question on that logic is if something made it through the whole weekend and nobody bought it, then there must be a reason nobody bought. My logic is the good buys are there at the beginning when you get there. But, if something's been sitting past all those people going to a gaming expo and nobody bought it yet, must be something up.
Yeah. A lot of times, you're just going to walk in there and you might grab it just because it's there. Like it's in front of you. Wow, that's cool. But you see a lot of eBay prices on stuff now when you walk in. So not necessarily a deal, but it's right there in front of you. So why not grab it while it's in front of you, But if you pick up your phone while you're looking at it, you check out the prices. It's like, well, I can get it for the same price off of eBay. I might have to wait for a week for it to get to the house, or I can just grab it now,
See, and that's where I'll pay a little bit more. Shouldn't tell these people that, but I guess I'll pay a little bit more if I get it. If I don't have to. Let's face it, Amazon screwed local businesses around the world. But I patronize them. But you can get stuff, and most things are cheaper. But I know there's an item that Cheryl and I just bought here recently. That she looked it up while we were in the store and said it's $5 cheaper. Well, okay, it's $5 cheaper, but I can take this one home now. I can easily walk back here and return it. I can ask questions of the clerk, and I'm helping a local business.
Yep.
So it doesn't go out of business, so I can come up here and do that and not have to wait. So, there's been times I've paid, I'm not going to pay double, but I'll pay a little bit more to keep that local business going. And 'cause I just hate, if it weren't for Micro Center here, I mean, I don't know where especially Bart. Bart, where do you go to even get a, what I call a thumb drive? I mean, you'd have to drive 1,000 miles, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I picked up a packet at Walmart when I was at Walmart, and that's 2-hour drive from here.
Yeah.
The nearest Walmart.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Now, AZ Cowboy, he has a theory though, Greg. It's not that they're trying to dump inventory at the end; they just don't want to reload the trucks back up with all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
there is the theory I go with is people might look at something that say is $100 they're asking, and they're like, I'm not going to pay $100. But if they're not wanting to load the truck and suddenly it's $50, you're like, okay, I'll pay $50 for that, but $100 was too high. So you may pick up a deal if they're willing to lower it enough, and if price was the only thing stopping you.
You could probably haggle. You could probably talk people down. Like that Atari 400 sitting there, that I think it was $250. It said with games. They were probably inside. I didn't bother looking because I made sure I brought a certain amount with me. I wasn't going to use my debit card while I was there. I brought a certain amount. So I'm like, I didn't bring $250 for a reason, so I didn't bother asking, But I'm sure if I had some money, I could have said, "Will you take $180 for that?" And they would have said no, and I'd be like, "Okay, fine, I'm out of here." But I didn't bother asking. I always kind of wanted Atari 8-bit computer, but not so much that I was going to bring that kind of money with me right then. So,
I've had this happen to me at a show, and I've had this happen more than once. Matter of fact, I think 2 or 3 instances, but the one I can remember to show was just a local gun show around here I went to one time. And, I was looking mainly for the knives. I kind of I got Bart seen them down here in my rec room. I got a little stand with some collectible knives on there. And I remember I asked this guy, I said, "How much for that knife?" $5? Wow. So I reached in my pocket to pull a $5 bill out. I thought, that's a real pretty knife for $5. And he got really pissed off. He says, $500. Said, "You know what? If $5 insulted you, I get it. But you telling me that you want $500 for that insults me as well."
Yeah.
So I mean, come on, get real. And if you're gonna get pissed about it, why didn't you say $500? I mean,
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah,
what do you want?
use your words.
Yeah, that's
The other time I can recall that.
Nice.
Yeah, the other time I can recall that is Cheryl and I were looking at we went to a pet store up here after our dog passed, and we were looking at little puppies. This pet store, I said, "What do you want for that little puppy?" The guy said, "Well, that's another time." The guy said, what did he say? He says, I forget how he put it, but, anyway, he said 25. Yeah, that's what he said, 25. And I said, $25? Pretty good. You can get adoption ones. That's what it costs. But this pet store, I thought, well, it was $2,500. I said, I ain't paying $2,500 for a dog. I can drive down the street and find one walking down the road.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, but enough about that. Well, you had a good time at the expo.
And I always like looking at the Marquee Glass. There's their company that always comes in and sells that stuff, and I'm always staring at the Popeye one. I think they're like $35 or whatever. I never buy them. They sell the bezels too. What am I going to do with them? And my luck, it would probably be laying in the parking lot shattered before I even get to the car. But always like to look at those two when they're there.
That's funny you mentioned that. I need to go to one of these pinball shows one time. There's a place that makes pinball glass, or they'll refurbish your pinball glass for you. But you got to mail your pinball glass in, and like everybody else, businesses are busy. It may take 2 or 3 month turnaround, but they can't, like my Stingray is the one I'm talking about. I can send that to them, I can't order one and have it shipped to me because it's a copyright thing. Or in other words, they can make me a new one, but they can only replace one. They can charge me to either rehab that one or replace it. And the nice thing about these shows is if you write them and tell them you're coming to a show, you can bring your glass with you and tell them to have one ready for you. Make sure they bring one for your machine. You can walk in and swap them out right there. Which,
Oh, wow.
other than the fact of having to transport it back home, of course, you live. Well, this show was right down the street from you, wasn't it?
It's not real far. Not real far from us. It's about, well, we have some traffic, but probably about 25 minutes with the traffic and everything to get down. Yeah, it wasn't too bad getting down there this time, except, of course, the wonkiness I had going. I asked the boy if he wouldn't mind driving a little bit of the ways, but he was too busy watching YouTube with his headphones on, ignoring the old man in the car going down, so...
You know how you break your kid of that, saying he doesn't want to drive and wants YouTube? Just run off the road a couple. After he gets done cleaning out his pants, he'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll drive for a little bit, Dad."
They had some construction. We had to get over into one lane, and I said, "How far can you see? How far is the construction on that side?" "No, I don't know. I see orange and white signs down there." "Well, thanks for the help, buddy. I'll find my way there on my own." Yeah. But he was cool. Once we got there, you could see the excitement again, just like when he was younger, running in there and seeing all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really nice now that he's older and has a job and has his own cash, so he can buy the stuff for himself. So.
Yeah, and it's nice that he shares an interest in that with you. I mean, some kids don't, so you get some.
And he got a GameCube game, so when we got home, I had to bust out the GameCube. I actually just put that away recently. I'm trying to clean up the game room, and we hadn't touched that in a while, so I had to dig that back out. He was down there playing some GameCube last night and today when he got home from work, so. Digging out the games again. I really need to get to doing some iArcade and messing with the OBS. I keep saying that. I think what I'm going to do is I have a forced week of vacation at the very end of the month, so that should be my week to actually sit and mess around with that and see what I can do to stream from it, record from it. I'm going to have to because my phone is running out of space. I keep clearing space, but every time I try to make a video, it's like, you're running out of room here, so it's like my phone cuts off when I make recordings and everything else, so that's getting to be a real pain. I'm going to have to start relying on that laptop a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do, Poe, and it might be the laziest thing ever with the iArcade. These last couple videos, like the one I did today where I was playing whatever I played horribly, I've just taken my laptop and setting it on top of the iArcade and using the built-in microphone and camera to record my face. And with that HDMI output, I have the little turn it to USB and just go right in and OBS it up. And it's super simple. And then most times I don't even edit it. I just start the recording, do my stuff, end the recording, upload it to YouTube.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty
Yeah,
quick,
my game-
easy. It's not the greatest video quality or audio quality, but I don't see people complaining. But it's
Same way when I do like those pinball ones. I'm obviously using the pinball machine with OBS built in. If you come down here, you think people that don't know what I do, they think, what kind of weirdo are you? You got camera on each pinball machine, but it's hooked to the computer. I got OBS in there, and that's how I do those. FX on one machine, FX3 on the other. But then when I play the Switch games, I got the same thing. You're just looking at the camera on a laptop and the microphone from the laptop, and then the OBS running through the laptop from the Switch. And I do just like Bart. I don't worry about editing it. The only ones I edit anymore are my American Truck Simulator because I keep running into crap and I got to cut those scenes out.
Yeah. Yeah, I edit those simulator videos a lot more because I find whether I pull up the map and it does that stupid load thing on ATS, and I don't know what mod it is that causes my load screens to take forever. So it's like I gotta cut all that crap out. But the arcade videos are so easy to do because just line it in. I already have it set up so it's taken, it's square, so it's picking the thing. My picture's on the other side. Oh, I think in this last one, when I started, I was like, shit, I don't have my logo up here, so I just imported it while I was recording. But it's super simple. So once you get OBS set up on that thing, Poe, I think you'll like it. How easy it is to record videos off the iArcade. But and Polo's been talking in the chat over there about downloading games, and I am way behind that Dynagear. I'm not even sure what that game is. I'd have to look it up. But I go on that Discord where they're putting all those. What's the Discord, Poe? I can't remember. PAX R Us or something like that.
PAX R Us, yeah.
And man, I'm so far behind on there. And I see Hollywood Polo in there. I saw Poe, you were asking about a game the other day, and I didn't see the beginning part, so I didn't even know what you were asking about. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go so far back to find. Is there a working Robotron now? Is there?
No, people were trying to mess with that, and there's certain things you can go in and add config files, and that to me was what I was messed up with. Somebody got Food Fight working with a config file. You have to mess with it and then push the config file afterwards to get the joystick to work. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? Well, somebody else created a software for the config file, so you have to go back up the page a week before that and download his tool, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm like, I don't know. I was just hoping somebody would make it easy that I could just push the whole thing together, So
it'd be nice if they had a little subcategory of, and maybe we should suggest that one of us or all of us.
Polo did. Discord. He did suggest it, saying, pretty much what I've been thinking. This is supposed to be the page where you put the files for us to push, but instead there's 9 billion conversations going on here, and everything gets lost in the mix.
Yeah,
that's not supposed to be the conversation page. That's supposed to be the file share page.
Right, and if they had one like that for like apps for whatever, because I saw that guy, he made that little app to push the configs. If there was a thing, okay, here's where you download this file, and these are apps to put stuff on, not game files. And then this one is supposed to be for packs only or for downloadable games only. And you scroll through 100 different messages of people talking to find one game that someone posted. So,
but then somebody else says, no, this is a better version of it. Well, they posted that a week later, so you might, where's that at? And I only usually look at it Friday evenings. So then I'm going through 9 billion posts from the whole week,
Yeah. You almost want to put a sarcastic thing. Man, it's a shame there isn't a little sub-channel on here that's only for the games. Yeah. But, I mean, you want to be grateful that people are putting them up, but at the same time,
I'm really happy with the work that they've done and updating them and putting nice graphics on there and stuff like that. But I'm thinking maybe some of these games that I'm having problems with, like Food Fight, once Glenn's Viper board comes out, maybe there'll be, and the Robotron, maybe there'll be other versions of that we'll be able to just throw on there and maybe they'll work, or you'll be able to easily configure them or something, that way.
Yeah. If his deck is set up with his Viper board to where, you just install a version of MAME and you can assign the buttons like you do, when I built the MAME machine, I didn't have any of this. I think the problem is trying to get it to talk to the iArcade's interface. But if it can turn that deck into it's a generic deck basically, and you tell it, set up your buttons and joysticks how you want it, that will be nice. Because I do look forward to some of that, being able to put some of those games on there.
And somebody, and I don't know if they were saying it, I don't know if they said it as a joke or I think it was on Glenn's YouTube channel the other night, his live thing I was watching. Somebody said in the comments that Tadicor was making a pack already for that Viper board that had like 30-some thousand games. I don't know if they were saying that as a joke or if he really, you never know. He makes packs for everything. So
right.
Maybe he is
Yeah.
making something that has like every single console and everything on it for that board already. Who knows? But
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be a little too much. Could that be another Pandora's box with, you're searching for a game for 40 hours? Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my Raspberry Pi. I've got some of those images that you can download, for the Pi, and oh my God, they're loaded with games. But that's one thing you guys got it made with that. I'm so disappointed with my @Games. So far it hadn't been a problem, but as long as I don't update it, if I want to update that firmware, and I'm not going to buy any new games for it until I'm sure they got this fixed, because you have to update, play some of the new games. That happened with me on a pinball pack that I bought from them. But now if you update, you're losing all your CoinOps X, which is basically your side loading of games. So there goes Galaga, Pac-Man, all the great titles off of that cabinet. You guys have gone in the other direction where you're able to get anything you want. I'm going the other way. So if you want an @Games Ultimate, I'll gladly trade you for an iArcade that you guys said, everybody kept saying, I want to get rid of it. I'm like, I got a panic. Oh my God, they're going out of business. Wish I'd have had 2 or 3 of them now.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people that bought the gold versions are kind of still hung out to dry. But until Glenn's board comes. I mean, when Glenn's deck comes and the Viper board, all the gold people will be fine again. We're just getting a head start. And it could come to a point where, because Glenn's board, his deck, you could switch between the Viper board and the built-in iArcade. Could get to the point where I spend 99.9% of my time on the Viper and only go over to iArcade if I want to play one of those actual games that I downloaded on the iArcade.
Right.
But I'll have all these other ones that I'm installing now, Donkey Kong and Dig Dug and Popeye and all those. I'll have those on the Viper and I'll just stay over there. Because
Right.
4-way, 8-way joystick thing and all that stuff that's, much easier when we get Glenn's deck and the Viper board. And then I got to get some light guns and start getting into those light gun games.
Right.
That's something I just remembered, though. And see, I got a Pi right here. The only thing I hate on the @Games is the USB ports are up front. So you have to, wires are going to be showing. I wish they'd have made some in the back. And I don't know, maybe I could break into the thing and figure out a way to relocate them. But that's something I did forget about. I can take a Raspberry Pi and hook up to the @Games and make the controller on the @Games work on this. And then you take the HDMI out and plug it into their HDMI. They don't have HDMI out on @Games. They have HDMI in. So you can, in theory, put your Raspberry Pi video into the cabinet, and you can take the controls out of the cabinet into the Pi. So you basically can play any of the Raspberry Pi games on the Legends. So there's my out.
Yeah,
I
think I'd be doing that. But then what happens with your? You would play your pinball tables using your Mini or your Legend Gamer Pro, right?
You don't have to. See, what you do is you just turn the Pi off, and you got a button that switches the HDMI.
Oh, okay.
And I think you got a button that switches the control or setting inside of it that sends the controls to this. You just turn that off, turn this off, and turn the HDMI back to the regular, and you're back to playing that Legends game. So,
right.
So that I never thought about that before. But I mean, I knew that was capable, but I never thought about that. I need to take this extra one I got, load some games on it. That's a project coming up for when I get back in town. I'm gonna have my my Legends Ultimate up and running with a Raspberry Pi. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, because then you'll have all that stuff. That's what I would definitely be doing.
And you're right, Bart. I can still, if I didn't ever want to switch it back over, I could always play my pinball on my Mini. I think that's why I feel like if anybody has a right to bitch, it's me. Don't bitch it, but when you own 3 of their products, you should have a little more leverage than the guy that owns.
Yeah. Yeah, so Polo says he advertised our tournament on their Play Games More Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a link for that. I don't think I joined that yet, Polo. I got to join your Discord. Sorry about that. You sent me the link and I got busy but I got to join that thing. So, so thanks for advertising.
Yeah.
But
And the only thing we're going to going back to that, the only thing we're going to ask is when we get down to the wire, we're going to have to know who people are so we can contact them with the usernames and passwords. I mean, anybody's welcome. You got brothers, sisters, friends, something. They don't have to watch the channel and subscribe. There's no rule. But when they get to the end, they've either got to, and of course, I guess we can disseminate that information on the Discord.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, that's about all I got for today's show. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about? I know we're getting close to Chiefs time.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I turned the second monitor on. I'm watching them warm up right now.
Yeah. But I know I've had a long, busy day today. Poe's had a long, busy weekend, and he's rolling into a big, long week.
Yeah.
So
this will be interesting, though. This is that game that I bought off of John Riggs, and it's Elvira. So I know you guys like Elvira. So
nice.
Just want to show it one more time. She got the boobies, and 8-bit boobies in this case.
I
So
was going to say there's a couple things about Elvira that stand out that catch my eye every time I talk about her.
8-bit or 64-bit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a Halloween series this year. I say it every year. I'm going to do like a whole series of Halloween or spooky games. Well, we're already October 1st, so I might as well scrap that idea till next year. I would like to do a series of spooky games this year.
I want to play the Halloween pinball games that came out on the Switch. And then there's a game that Chaos mentioned to me in your stream, and I've already forgot the name of it, but I can go look at it. Chaos and I were playing a lot. It was a Halloween type game on the Switch. And Rick, before we sign out here, if you remember what that is, Chaos, you might just throw that name of that game up there on the chat. And Derek says Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2 this month. Oh.
Yeah, I need to get back to that. I haven't played that for a while. I think the last time I played it was with Derek, and he ruined the whole experience, so I never want to play it again. Just kidding, Derek.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a good sense of humor. He knows.
I haven't really lined up my October. There was a horror VR game that I was wanting to play, and I can't remember what it is because I already did that Exorcist thing. And
wow.
I thought there was another horror VR thing that was supposed to be coming out. I got to look through that again and see if there's that. But I'm gonna find some Halloween-y type themed stuff, whether it's games I can play on the iArcade or on the computer or something, and do some Halloween stuff. But,
I say it every year.
That's right. I started that hotel hotel one, and I only did the first chapter. So there you go. I'm gonna get on that. Outhouse Simulator. That's only a scary thing if you're coming in there after Old Poe is leaving it. Then it's a horror show.
Outhouse Simulator. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if that's it, I mean, I'm going to give a quick final thoughts. FX3 tournament. Have fun, and thanks for showing up. And let's get some participation. That's my thoughts.
And go on the Discord. Keep track of the pinball during the week.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, get in the tournaments. Even if you don't talk, if you don't chat, and if you know of someone that played in the tournament in the spring, and they're not necessarily watching, like if you're friends with someone that used to play it, send them off a text and say, "Hey, they're starting another tournament," so they know to jump in.
It's October. Play some scary games. I got my Freddy Krueger Boston Skelly, the Nightmare cap on. See, so it's October. We're ready to go.
Nice. No, I didn't even catch that. Nice. Good deal. But, that's all I got, Greg.
All right. Well, that's it. We'll see you next Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central. And be prepared to see the results from this week. And make sure you get in this week. You want to get that at least that 1 point, so you're on your way to playoffs. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care now.
Later.
Okay, where's that damn outro at?